All right, y'all, come on in. Today we're going to be reviewing this Boudoir Facebook ad. Seeing what we're doing good to bring us good results and seeing what we're doing bad to bring us bad results. And going to be looking at it through my normal, 10 mistakes lens, where, I've kind of used these 10 mistakes, grade with other Boudoir Facebook ads, take them, test them, fix them up, fix the mistakes, retest them, and kind of on average able to, 2 to 4x the amount of women coming through, clicking on the body copy, consuming the body copy, consuming our offer, um, all for the same amount of ad spend. And so, kind of a secret metric that nobody follows that we care about here is unique CTR all, because below 6% unique CTR all, which nearly all Boudoir Facebook ads are below 6%, that is a much higher chance our ad, dies out over time, burns out over time, or same ad spend, but getting worse and worse results over time. Whereas if we can keep it above 6%, higher chance our ad, actually gets better results initially, better metrics, better results, and sustains and scales. So same ad spend, better results. Kind of better chance for that to happen if we get unique CTR all above 6%, which is kind of all these mistakes that I like to talk about fixing. And back to here. All right, so if boudoir photographers, if we've been running boudoir Facebook ads for a long time, kind of the ad burning out and dying is something that happens. And if a boudoir photographer is like running ads on their own, and this is happening, they're feeling desperate, getting desperate, not knowing like, well, is work, they're saying to themselves, man, I was working a little bit, but I keep doing this, sending the same on ads, but I'm getting worse and worse results over time. What the heck's going on? Or if they are paying an agency, a ton of money every month, fixed, and then they got their ad spend, and then they're getting same ad spend, worse results over time. They're like, dude, what the heck? Why am I even paying this agency? A ton of money every month. It makes no sense. I'd rather save that money and just put it, literally just put it towards my ad spend anyways. And they probably already gave me their best ads from the jump anyways to, get me hooked. And I could probably just keep running them because they're not doing anything with the old ads. And so, they're really questioning why they're even using their current ad agency who's getting them, same ad spend, worse and worse results over time. So we're going to talk about that stuff today and what's causing it, because there's actually, a deeper root cause issue that most boudoir photographers never see that's causing that. And it is this. When we start our ads go to the first tranche of women that the Facebook ads algorithm decides. There's initial metrics and initial data from that, kind of the first tranche of women, that actually feeds back into the Meta ad algorithm. And with that data, Meta decides who to send our ads to. So let's say we get, decides who to send our ads to for tranche 2. So let's say, our initial, we get low unique CTR all metrics starting with our ad, and small amount of conversions. That feeds back into the Meta ad algorithm, and our ads actually go to worse quality prospects for the tranche 2 women. And these basically are worse quality Meta profiles. So just off rip, they have a lower chance of converting. And so literally like the when that data goes into the next tranche, for tranche 3, we're going to worse Meta profiles. So it's literally like this downward spiral of despair, kind of like worse and worse results over time, no matter what we do, just because the ads started off bad because we had mistakes, got it bad initial metrics, bad initial results in conversions. Now, If we fix these mistakes, these 10 mistakes I'm going to talk about today, if we fix these mistakes, then our initial, unique CTRL metrics and sales and conversions from the ad for tranche one will actually be good. We'll have good initial metrics. And that feeds back into meta ad algorithm. So for tranche two, we actually unlock higher quality meta profiles for tranche two. So our ads are actually going to higher quality prospects off rip of a higher probability converting, which results in same ad spend, better results, which feeds back into the meta ad algorithm again for tranche three, unlocking even higher, better meta profiles, which means same ad spend, better results. That is the upward spiral of awesomeness. Same ad spend, better results over time. Ad sustains and scales, scale the business. And so Boudoir Facebook ads can only be going in one of two directions, either the downward spiral of despair, which is where most of them go, because from the ads I've looked at, average unique CTRL is 2 to 3%. Or the Boudoir Facebook ad can go through the upward spiral of awesomeness, kind of like a jet stream. Better results over time, same ad spend, ad sustains and scale the business. So I'm going to talk about, the kind of 10 main mistakes that normally causes ads to get trapped in the downward spiral of despair, but then fixing them gives us way better chance of the upward spiral of awesomeness. So, all right, here we go. So first out of 10 that I always look at is the creative. Does it look like an ad? And this one, actually, no, this looks like an organic post, a mom would post or something. And that's good. We want our ads to look more like organic posts. Why? Lower chance someone just scrolls by, which means higher chance they come up here and read what we got to say up top here in our see more headline. So it's good. So basically more women are going to be consuming our ad copy and going to actually be, becoming pre-qualified. So we're going to get more qualified leads, more qualified sales, calls. We're going to have fewer tire kickers, fewer price hunters, fewer objections, fewer ghosting, less ghosting, more conversions, more sales, higher ROAS, higher revenue, all feeds back into the meta ad algorithm. We unlock higher tier meta profiles, premium placements for tranche two. Ads go to tranche two women. Same ad spend, better results. Ad sustains and scales, scale the business. All right, the second, mistakes 2 through 5 can happen up here in the See More headline. That is the first, basically, the See More headline is the first thing that women are going to see when they're scrolling down. And the first thing we need in the See More headline is a who. Who are we speaking to? What is a self-label? Where if they read it, they're scrolling, but they see the self-label, they stop, they say, oh my God, that's me. So what is a self-label? Let's see, if what we're doing in this ad, see if we got any self-label. Oh, Northeastern Colorado, family, wedding, headshots, maternity, newborn, senior. All right, so Northeastern Colorado, family. Nah. Northeastern Colorado. Now that's solution. So we're missing the who, missing the self-label. And because they're going to have more women scrolling by, so they're not talking to me. And so we're going to have less women reading our ad copy, fewer qualified leads, fewer qualified sales calls, more price hunters, more price objections, lower close rate, more ghosting, less conversions, less revenue, less sales, lower ROAS, all feeds back into the meta ad algorithm. Our ads go to lower quality prospects over time for tranche two, aka lower converting meta profiles for tranche two. And we've now entered the downward spiral of despair. Same ad spend, worse results over time, feeds back into the meta ad algorithm again, and gets us even gives us even worse and worse, at results over time. Same ad spend, worse results over time. And yeah, just looking at quick note, just looking at this ad, this is a, want solution, here's solution ad, which can work if honestly, if there's no other competitors in the area. We don't have to actually get specific if there's no other competitors in the area. I mean, think of, if there's 1950s is on one TV store in our town and we don't have, no internet, people don't travel anywhere. Well, the one TV store can just say, want TV? We've got TVs. But once we've got more competitors, the market's more sophisticated, we have to differentiate with specificity to stand out because a lot of solutions will be similar. So, all right, so, as a small note. The second thing we need to see more highlighting is a negative. What negative experience are women in our city moving away from that they want to get away from, that our solution, our Boudoir photo shoot, provides that solution to them? What is that negative experience? And, we would test a bunch, see which one kind of is most relevant, and the data tells us where to go. And we always, always, always lead with a negative, and here's why. The probability a human takes an action to move from a negative experience, aka pain, to get to a neutral, a no pain state, neutral, homeostasis, no pain, dude, is literally like 100x bigger than that same human taking action, go from their neutral / no pain / homeostasis state to some positive / gain / pleasure. Literally 100x difference. And we know that by us going to the dentist, so we go to the dentist, we get our 6-month, teeth cleaning / checkup done. And now we're at the front desk, we're paying, we're talking with the secretary ladies. And we're like, well, they ask us, hey, are you free 168 days from now at 6:50 a.m.? And we're like, dude, I literally got no clue, like no idea what my schedule is then, but text me closer to that time and, see what my schedule is and see how I can slot it in. So they put us in their auto texter follow-up machine. And the auto text us month 3, we ignore. Month 4, we ignore. Month 5, we ignore. And month 6 comes and goes, and we do not go to the dentist at all. And why is that? Well, we're busy with our business, building the business, brain momentum. We're in flow state. We like our schedule. We got too many things to do anyways. And, kind of guaranteed gain or guaranteed positive or guaranteed pleasure of going to the dentist and A, getting teeth guaranteed cleaner, and B, guaranteed peace of mind, knowing that either we have no cavities or we've solved all cavities, small cavities that we did have. And, that guaranteed gain of both those things just really is not enough for us to break our schedule, break our, basically like change our behavior and get us to take an action to put the dentist on the calendar. So this continues. Month 8, auto text, ignore. Month 10, auto text, ignore. Month 12, auto text, ignore. And, for the second time in a row, so we've missed 2 6-month checkups now, teeth cleanings. And again, same story. We're busy, we're working on stuff. Really focused on the business, growing the business, booking in more clients, figure out what's working, what's not. Flow state, mental momentum. We like our schedule. We don't want to change it up and be like smushed back for a day, have to go to the dentist. So again, like the guaranteed gain, cleaner teeth, again, it's just not a big enough guaranteed gain, guaranteed positive, guaranteed pleasure for us to change our behavior and actually take an action to put the dentist on the calendar and actually show up to the dentist. Now the end of month 13 rolls around. And end of month 13, we're eating breakfast. And man, we got a lot of pain on the right side of our mouth, in the back, on the bottom, one of those molars back there. Every single bite, it's pain, pain, pain. So we finished our breakfast, and the rest of the morning, our tooth, our jaw, pain, pain, pain. Even though we're not chewing anything, it's like, oh man, dude, this is terrible. Lunch is probably gonna hurt. So for lunch, we actually decide to eat on the left side of our mouth, but we still got pain on our right side. Our teeth touch a little bit. A little bit of food goes over there because of muscle memory, and it's just, this is kind of more pain. We can't even finish our lunch because it's just too painful. And we're like, all right, this is awful. I got to solve this pain. I got to get rid of this tooth pain. So the same afternoon, we call up our dentist and we're like, hey, my tooth's killing me. I got to get this solved. Can you get me in tomorrow morning, like 7:30 a.m.? And they're like, no, we can't get you in. We're booked out 2 weeks. And now we're sweating. We're like, what? What do you mean? Dude, this thing's killing me. I got to get this solved. There's really no availability. They're like, no, dude, but we can put you on the cancellation list. And so if someone cancels, we can get you in, but not guaranteed. And so we're like, no way, dude. I probably won't be able to eat dinner tonight. Probably not gonna be able to sleep. My tooth's in a lot of pain. And so we hang up, and then we go and we call up, dude, every single dentist in the city and be like, can you get me in tomorrow morning? Can you get me in tomorrow morning? Can you get me in tomorrow morning? And we finally get someone that says yes. And so we go in tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. in the morning, barely slept at all. They look at our teeth back there, and man, big cavity. So they clean it out, clean the cavity out, put the resin in there, do the UV pen, harden it all up, and actually get us, back to normal. And they clean the rest of our teeth, but they get us back to normal. So we're testing, moving our jaw, biting down on air. No pain, cool. No pain in our jaw, no pain in our tooth. And then we eat breakfast, no pain. We're like, oh my God, yes. Thank God. No more pain, back to normal. So there were 2 scenarios there. Scenario 1 was literally, dude, like 13 months. The guaranteed gain. So 13 months, so 400 days, a guaranteed gain of cleaner teeth and no cavities in our mouth. That peace of mind. The guaranteed gain was not enough to get us to take an action for 400 days to get the dentist on the calendar. But one day with pain, one day with our tooth pain, and we're done with it, halfway through the day, right at lunchtime, right after lunch. Literally, dude, one day with pain to get us to take action and get the dentist on the calendar. So, what's the difference between those two? 400 days, guaranteed gain, going from neutral / normal / no pain state to a guaranteed gain state, guaranteed positive, took no action. So 400 days, no action to get a guaranteed gain. One day, pain, just get rid of the pain, get back to normal. Massive, massive, massive action. We even called like every other dentist in our city. And so in this example, the probability that we took the action to go from negative experience, aka pain, to just neutral, back to normal, is literally 400x larger than us taking an action to go from normal / neutral / no pain to some gain, some positive, some pleasure. Literally 400x difference. So this is why we always, always, always lead with the negative experience. So do we have a negative experience here that we're talking to our women about? Women in our city, women in our area? No, we got solution here, location. So yeah, that's all solution. All right, so we're missing negative experience. We're gonna have More women scrolling by, not feeling like what we're offering is for them and their specific situation. And so again, lower women reading through, fewer women feeling like we're specifically for them. Honestly, women would probably only feel that we're for them if they don't know any other photographers in the city and they don't know how to search for any. So we're kind of default the only option. But so we have less women coming through qualified, less qualified leads, less qualified sales calls, more price hunters, more price objections, more ghosting, less people showing up to sales calls, less sales, less revenue, less conversions, less ROAS, all feeds back into the meta ad algorithm. And our ads go to worse prospects for tranche 2, which results in same ad spend, lower results. Ads, we've entered the downward spiral of despair, ads dying out, ads burning out, refresh creative. All right. The next thing we want to have in our See More headline is a positive. What is the positive thing that women in our city are saying that they want? Kind of like they want to cross to the other side of the river to get something positive. What are some of those things we could test and the women are saying in their brain that they want? Well, let's see what we got here. Okay, so we got solution here. So is solution a positive? No. Solution is never ever a positive. It's what people get from the solution that is the positive. The feeling they get, or the status they get, something. It's what they get from the solution that's positive. So we're missing the positive here. So we're missing something special called the negative positive tension, which needs us to have a negative experience and a positive experience here, where women in our city are kind of like, they're on the left side of the river. They're like, man, I don't want to deal with this negative experience. I want to get away from it and go to the other side of the river. Oh, and on the other side of the river, they got this other different positive thing that I also want. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 double whammy. So we're missing this. And again, women are not feeling like we're speaking specifically to them and their situation and their scenario and what's going on in their life. So a lot of women scrolling on by. So less qualified women, less qualified leads, less qualified sales call, more price hunters, more price objections, lower conversion rates, lower ROAS, all feeds back into the meta ad algorithm. Ads go to a lower quality meta profiles tranche 2, and kind of we've entered the downward spiral of despair. It's going to result in same ad spend, lower results, kind of feeding back into itself over and over, downward spiral. Ads burning out, ads dying out, refresh creative. All right. The third thing we want to have in the See More headline is a hesitation or a roadblock. So basically like, if we think of our bridge, bridge across the river or our boat across the river, what is stopping someone from getting on our bridge or any bridge or on our boat or any boat and go across the river? This could be something they assume they got to do or have or know to do a boudoir photo shoot, or something that they don't want to know have to do with another boudoir photographer. So it can be a few different things. And so let's see, do we have that here? So it's kind of like, what's stopping them from crossing the river using a bridge or a boat? It could be like, afraid of engines. So they ain't never taken a boat across or a helicopter, but they'll take the bridge. Something like that. So now we're missing the hesitation / roadblock. So we're really missing out on super specificity here, which is a triangle of mental tension, which is the negative, the positive, and the hesitation / roadblock. We're totally missing all these things. And because of that, we're calling it a less specific woman. And so she feels like We are less for them, less specifically for them and her situation. So we're literally going to have a lower amount of women coming through pre-qualified, feeling like we're specifically for them, lower quality leads, lower quality sales calls, more ghosting, more price hunters, more price objections, more tire kickers, less sales, less ROAS, lower close rate, and lower lower ROAS. All feeds back into the meta ad algorithm. You know the drill. Downward spiral of despair. We've entered it. Same ad spend, worse results over time. All right, so that's the See More headline. So we've gone through where the first 5 mistakes in the boudoir photography ad can happen. Next, we went into the body copy, which normally, we'd click here and it would open it up, but we don't have any extra body copy here. So if we did have some, it's kind of like they're getting whacked in the face, our reader is getting whacked in the face with a ton of text. And we got to give them some reason to keep reading. So we got them to read like the first 1 or 2 sentences, the See More headline up here. And we got to give them, they click ... see more, their brain's in scroll mode, TikTok mode. We got to give them some reason to read the rest of what we got. So we got to have a hook 2. Hook 1 was the See More headline. Hook 2 will actually be the first line of the body copy. And we always want to use an authority hook. So you say an authority, why you should listen to me, why you should listen to what I got to say, and actually read the rest of the ad copy. So we're missing that here. We're missing the authority hook. Now I did one at the beginning of this video showing, so I showed, I have fixed boudoir Facebook ads before, 2 to 4x increase in women clicking on the, engaging with the ad, consuming the ad copy, consuming our offer, becoming pre-qualified for the same ad spend. Says, that was the authority hook. And all right, so we're missing authority hooks. So less women are going to read the rest of the ad copy, although we don't have anything more for them to read here. But they're going to be less pre-qualified because they didn't finish reading, because they didn't feel they should keep reading. And because they're less qualified leads, fewer booked calls, fewer qualified shows, more tire kickers, more price hunters, more price objections, lower, conversion rate, lower sales, lower revenue, lower ROAS, all feeds back into the meta ad algorithm. Ads go to worst quality meta profiles for tranche 2. So say general lower conversion rate, same ad spend, lower results over time. Ad burns out, ads die out. Refresh creative. Kind of normal that I'm seeing with lots of boudoir Facebook ads. All right, second thing we want to have in our body copy after the authority hook is a story/narrative. This is where we empathize with them, show we understand the current situation. We basically paint the movie, kind of line by line movie scene, just write out the movie script. It's as if we have, a third person camera recording their life. So we're describing what's going on. And then it's like we got the reality TV like cutscene where they talk to the camera and describe what's going on in the situation, kind of recreate their thoughts and what they're feeling. And this is, we call this part the 1-2, we call this punch 2. So basically, punch 2 of our 1-2 punch, where punch 1 is the See More headline up here with our 4 out of 4 specific attributes, where we meet women with, what they actually want, kind of the conversation they're having in their brain. They click the ... see more, they see the rest of our ad copy, and then we actually get punch 2, the second punch, where we're describing what's going on in their exact life. So like they're saying, oh my God, this is exactly what I'm thinking of, what I'm saying I want, what I don't want, what I don't have to deal with. And this other thing, they're actually perfectly describing my exact life right now. So whatever they're talking about, whatever this post is about, I really got to consider it because it seems like it's perfectly for me. And that's how awareness leads to consideration, leads to purchase. Kind of the default flow there. So that's the first reason we want the story/narrative to get the 1-2 punch correct. The second reason is actually a Facebook ad algorithm reason, and that is once someone engages with one of our Boudoir Facebook ads, they are going to get, dude, literally, their feed will be filled up with Boudoir Facebook ads from all the competitors in the city on Facebook and Instagram for literally the next 24 hours. It's going to be more than 20 ads. But guess what? Everyone else has generic messaging, generic kind of everyone's probably copying everyone else's scripts. And so we actually, you know, we actually want to stand out, one, by being specific, because then our message will be different from everyone else's. They'll remember us. But two, well, number one's only 5%. Two, 95% of the reason is we need to be correctly specific so that we are seen as the only option, even when they see 20 other boudoir photography competitors ads in the next 24 hours on Facebook and IG. So we need to be specific and correctly specific. So do we have the story/narrative here? Nope. So we are missing out on our punch two, getting women really pre-qualified, feeling like we're talking about them. So we're gonna have fewer women finishing the copy, fewer women feeling like we're specifically for them, lower conversions, lower qualified leads, lower qualified book calls, more price hunters, more price objections, more tire kickers, more ghosting, fewer qualified sales calls, fewer sales, fewer bookings, lower revenue, lower ROAS, less conversions, all feeds back into the meta ad algorithm. Y'all know by now, downward spiral of despair. Ad goes to worse and worse prospects over time. Ad burns out, refresh creative. Because we keep spending the same ad spend, worse and worse results over time. All right, the third and final thing we want to have in our body copy is our full offer. So the actual purpose of our ad is to provide correct context to the correct person and expose as many of the correct people to our offer as possible. With the context and all this stuff I've been talking about that is the context. So yeah, we're missing the full offer here. Oh, we are saying family, weddings, headshots, maternity, newborn, senior. We can see at the bottom boudoir. Yeah, so if we're talking about boudoir, we're really missing out on, how long is the shoots? Hair and makeup included or not? How many sets? Outfit changes, yes or no? Photos included, yes or no? Digital and physical? Kind of everything. Telling everyone about our offer, because this leads to two things. Number one, it leads to the right people clicking through our ad and contacting us. Number two, it leads to the wrong people scrolling, even though they click ... see more to read the rest of our ad copy, they scroll right on by. And we need both those things to happen, which I'll talk about more in mistake number 9, the next mistake. But right now we're on mistake number 8. So we don't have our offer, our full offer here. So we're getting less pre-qualified leads coming through, less qualified booking, sales call bookings, more price hunters, more price objections, more basically more ghosting, more tire kickers, less sales, less revenue, less conversions, lower ROAS, all feeds back into the meta ad algorithm. Basically ad goes to worse prospects, worse meta profiles for women in tranche 2, which means same ad spend, worse results for us, which feeds back into itself. We're in the downward spiral of despair. Ads burning out, ads dying out, refresh creative. All right, the final 2 mistakes can happen here at the bottom of the ad. First one is having any text or button. Always, always, always a mistake. And here's why. There's 3 reasons. The first one, 5% of the reason, anything below the creative, below creative headline, description, button, feeds into mistake number 1, makes it look more like an ad. So there's no organic posts that people are posting on Facebook that are people aren't posting a picture of their dog and then there's a below creative headline and a button beneath it. No, I mean, so these are ad looking mechanisms, ad appearing mechanisms. So it's 5%. Second reason for mistake number 9 is 15%, and that is once people are reading, as women are scrolling, they're up here, scroll, scroll, scroll. By the time they get here and they're reading kind of these words, their subconscious has processed, maybe like a quarter to a third of the words that are actually up here in the see more headline, which is the first 2 3/4 lines on mobile, which is actually all we got for this ad, 2 3/4 lines on mobile. Now, if there's any deviation in any of the words, it's actually gonna activate the error detection network in the brain, and this all happens automatically. So the error detection network in the brain signals error, incongruent, confusion, keep scrolling. Whereas what we want them to do is read back up, be kind of prompted to come back up and read fully what we got to say. But instead, they're simply scrolling by. So fewer women engage and become pre-qualified, lower ad results, downward spiral of despair, you know the drill. Now, even if the words are perfectly congruent, between bottom and top, dude, it still feeds into mistake 1, makes it look more like an ad. So, all right, so those are the first 2 out of 3 reasons for mistake number 9. Now, the third reason for mistake number 9 is, this is 80% of the reason for mistake number 9. It's because anything below the ad, it gives an avenue, an alley for women to click through to go to the next page of the ad without fully reading and consuming our ad, but our see more headline and our body copy. We actually want women to be clicking ... see more, which is I don't even know if you can see it, but over here on the right side, actually, that's where the ... see more will be to open up more ad, more ad copy for us to pre-qualify them. But if they're skipping all the pre-qualification, they're, and they're just coming right through our button or our below creative headline text, they're coming in unqualified. Here's why this is a massive, massive, massive issue, which, I talked about mistake number 8 a little bit, where we want the right people to come through and the wrong people to scroll on by. That's because when Meta ad algorithm is looking for who to send our ad to next, pulling from a few different pools of data, pool 1 is, those women who have converted on our ad, previously, and it's kind of shaking out all the data points it has on that meta profile. It has over, like 1 million. And it's comparing all the meta profiles that have converted and finding the similar data points, similar data attributes on those meta profiles. Someone can say, okay, so we'll go to this next tranche of meta profiles, we'll find profiles that, have 96% same data points, or 82%, or 93%, something like that. And so that's good for pool 1. The problem is with pool 2. This is for the ad clickers, where the ad was good enough, relevant enough for someone to click on it, come to the, go to the next page, take the next action. The problem with pool 2 is this pool is like 10 to 50x bigger. So pool 1 biases, meta ad algorithm one way. Pool 2 biases the meta ad algorithm, well, could be the same way, but most often it's a different way. And it's because when unqualified people come through, Meta dumps all their data attributes from their meta profile, looks at it, finds the similarities between everyone who's clicking on the ad, and then biases the meta ad algorithm to go find more clickers. So if they're coming in unqualified, not qualified, don't really know what we do, because they clicked on the stuff below the ad and we're not forced to click ... see more to read and consume the rest of our ad copy. Well, then we're biasing the meta ad algorithm with pool 2 data of unqualified prospects, unqualified data points. So if Meta is going to take those data points to decide who to show our ad to next, most likely it's going to go to unqualified meta profiles. So we've basically kind of basically neutered our meta ad algorithm from getting us better results because we did not force people to become pre-qualified through the full ad copy. So that's mistake number 9, the 3 reasons. So yeah, and we have them, we're gonna have less qualified women coming through, less quality leads, less bookings, less sales, more price hunters, more price objections, more ghosting, more tire kickers, more time wasters, harder to close them. So yeah, less closes, less sales, less revenue, lower ROAS, all feeds back into the meta ad algorithm. Ad goes to worse and worse prospects for tranche 2, worse and worse meta profiles, which results in same ad spend, worse results, kind of feeds back into the downward spiral of despair over and over, and our ads burning out, dying out. We got to refresh creative. All right, the 10th and final mistake that I see most often with boudoir photography Facebook ads is objective. So lead objective is the one that I've seen used the most. And leads is always, always, always a mistake. Here's why. When we choose our objective, what we're choosing is basically like the 6% slice of the market, or 6% slice of our city, whole city that we're targeting. This is 6% slice that's, 95% plus or 95% probability or percentile to fill out a lead form, and also, react to the kind of keywords here in the ad copy from the keywords that they've, reacted or responded to other ads, or they've searched on Facebook or Instagram or Google, or kind of the keywords on their profile from conversations they've had just by talking to their friends with the phone around, not even on. Because yes, Facebook and Instagram app microphone is always on, always listening, kind of sucking those keywords, pasting them to our meta profile, data points on the back end. And so lead objective, the problem with it is it's going to lead. So we're optimizing and go to lead form filler outers. Cool. Okay, people that fill out lead form. Here's the problem. We're not optimizing for lead form filler outers who also answer our calls, texts, and emails. We're not optimizing to go to put our ad in front of meta profiles who fill out a lead form and also book a call, show up to a call. And we're not optimizing for lead form filler outers who fill out a lead form and actually buy. Now, yes, there's going to be some dusting of profiles that, yes, they fill out a lead form and they do answer our calls, texts, and emails, and there'll be an even smaller dusting of people that fill out a lead form and then, yes, book a call, show up to a call, and even smaller yet, dusting of those who fill out the lead form and then buy. But we're running an ad because we want buyers. So let's get the ad in front of buyers off rip and use an objective that gets our ads in front of buyers, because if someone actually had buyer profile on their data, buyer data on their profile, they would not show up in the 6% slice for 95% probability to fill out a lead form, because their majority dominant behavior on their meta profile would be actually buying something, paying money for something. So essentially by us using lead forms, we're getting a bunch of low quality. We're basically getting non-buyers. That's what we're getting. So if we're getting $1, $1.50, $2 leads, okay, then guess what? No one's going to answer us, our calls, texts, or emails. And the one person that does, well, they were price hunting and we sent them our price and they just vanished. So it's basically kind of like training our metapixel the wrong way to go towards non-buyers. And then when we want to fix it and get our metapixel going towards buyers, we got like a farther way to kind of redirect, because we've over optimized towards lead form filler outers, aka non-buyers. And yeah, I do know, kind of the vanity metric of higher email list is better, but then nobody's answered our calls, text, or email, so we're wondering, man, do our emails stink? Do our text stink? Did I call them too late? Does my offer stink? No matter what we do, if it did everything perfectly, they're non-buyers, so they were never going to buy anything from us anyways. So it kind of screws up the rest of the business. All right, so that is mistake number 10. Now, we'll score this ad, see how it compares to the rest of boudoir photographers. Now, the thing that stinks is this is not boudoir photography only. And the reason it stinks, it's kind of confusing the meta ad algorithm. You know, to go to family, people that want family photos or wedding or headshots or maternity or newborn or senior. So honestly, it should literally be one ad for each of these offerings. Well, minimum of one ad for each, like for family, minimum one ad. But dude, we could do like, literally do like 20, speaking to 20 different people with our testing. It's like a lot of different permutations. But yeah, it's fine to start out, you know, throw everything together, get some data, and then it's kind of our A test. And then when we do a B test, hey, you know, let's switch something up and compare it to the A test and, you know, see what data or results we get. So going to score this out of 10, kind of out of 10 most common mistakes I'm seeing with other boudoir photographers with their boudoir Facebook ads. So let's see, does it look like an ad? No, that's really good. Cool photo. A lot of boudoir photographers put text right on their picture. And I'm always like, no, 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 this is good. Okay, so not there. Then we go to the see more headline. We had a negative, a positive, a hesitation slash roadblock, and a a who, a negative, a positive, and a hesitation slash roadblock. So we're 0 for 4 there, but that's fine. I mean, this is really advanced stuff, and probably just kind of starting running our ads here, getting some A test data. Our body copy, we want to have 3 different parts. Headline 2, our hook. So our authority, we want a story slash narrative, and we want our full offer. So yeah, we ain't got any of those here, but yeah, we're talking kind of super advanced stuff here. Then the final 2 things, low grade headline button, yes, mistake to have those. And then objective, I actually don't know what objective we're using here, so I'll give half mistake for the objective. So let's see. So all right, so 8.5 out of 10 mistakes. The average for the boudoir industry is 7.5 out of 10 mistakes. So yeah, right around average. Seems like kind of a new ad here. Just started up October 29th. I think that's today. It's all right around average. And I consider every boudoir Facebook ad that has more than 2 out of 10 mistakes to be a breaking down boudoir Facebook ad. So, you know, worse and worse, you know, kind of performance results over time, aka ad burning out, same ad spend, worse results over time, kind of the theme I've been hitting. And if we think of a car that's breaking down, so a car performing worse and worse over time, it's breaking down. Where do we take that? Yes, we take it to a car mechanic. Similarly, for our boudoir Facebook ads that are breaking down and performing worse and worse over time, where do we bring those? Yes, we bring those to a boudoir Facebook ad mechanic. So if your boudoir Facebook ad, you know, has these mistakes I've talked about today, and you want to get them fixed, get more clients, higher ROAS, more bookings, then yes, I do have a boudoir Facebook ad mechanic offer for you today. And I kind of got 2 options for this. So option 1 is I do a pay per root cause problem fixed model, where I actually take the 10 mistakes I talked about in this video, smush them down to 5 root cause problems, and just charge, you know, pay per mistake. I mean, pretty easy. And I'll do a quick 20-second, you know, diagnosis here with the 5 root cause problems. Does it look like an ad? Nope. You don't have that root cause problem. See more headline, we need 4 out of 4. We got 0 out of 4. So that's root cause problem 1. Rest of the body copy, we need 3 out of 3. We got 0 out of 3. That's root cause problem 2. Below creative headline and button, got to remove these. It's root cause problem number 3. And then objective. What objective are we using? Don't want to be using leads. So, we don't know which one we're using here. So half a mistake, half a root cause problem. So that's 3. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3.5 out of 5 root cause problems, which I think that's actually average. Now that I think about it, 3.5 out of 10, or 3.5 out of 5 is what I'm used to, kind of what I'm used to diagnosing here. And offer one is this: $50 per root cause problem solved on one ad. And yes, you can take these fixes and move them to other ads. And you can choose either one root cause problem being fixed or up to the maximum of 3.5 root cause problems. If you choose 3.5, and 3.5 times $50, so the max cost for this one ad would be $175. So that's option one. Option two is I'll fix all the root cause problems in all the Boudoir Facebook ads you want me to, and I'll create as many new Boudoir Facebook ads as you want me to, all for $100 a month. That's a flat fee, cancel anytime, month to month. And we can collab as much or as little as you want. But yeah, just $100 a month to fix everything, prove everything, really grow and scale the business. And be the same fixes I already showed. I've been able to take ads from, 2 to 4x, really the amount of women coming through, consuming the ad copy, consuming the offer for the same ad spend. And so, yeah, you got my phone number, you got my email, and then kind of whatever social platform we're on, you can also contact me here. So when you decide what you want to do, hit me up, and then I'll ask you what you got for me, and then we'll go from there. All right, that's everything. Adios.